Behind the Fiction, the Book Lovers podcast, where we deliver interviews, insights, and ideas to passionate book lovers who want to stay in the stories they love. I'm Alexa Library, and this is episode 30 for October 30th, 2019. And today's guests are Sarah Noffke, Dara, and Erick, the narrator and sound engineer for the audiobook for the Liv Beaufont series, also known as the Unstoppable Liv Beaufont series. Liv Beaufont is the character. As I'm sure you know, she is sassy and sarcastic. She is fun to listen to. So you're going to want to listen to the book. But before you do, listen to this podcast or watch this YouTube video to learn about the production process, how the narrator was selected, and what it's like to be a narrator for such a fun and sassy character with a very aggressive release schedule. So, follow along, make sure you're subscribed, and enjoy. Now, let's get to the show.
Welcome back to Behind the Fiction. I'm Stephen Campbell, and I'm here today with Sarah Noffke, the author of the Unstoppable Liv Beaufont series. We also have the narrator of the series, Dara Rosenberg, here, and Erick Black, who's the lead engineer at Dreamscape Audio, and we're going to be talking about Liv Beaufont. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's great.
Thank you.
Let's get started, Dara, with you. A quick question. You do a lot of urban fantasy. You've narrated over 200 books. Do you ever come across names where you just go, oh my God, where do they come up with this stuff?
Every single time. Every book, it depends obviously on the story, but I know that the writer has an imagination of their own, and I believe that whatever name they came up with, there was so much thought behind that name. So I try my best to get it right. That's just the way I think of it.
You know, we've done a lot of audiobooks. We at LMBPN have done a lot of audiobooks through Dreamscape, and there's normally this long list of names and pronunciations that comes in before the talent begins narrating. But with you, I think it was just one name.
Yeah, and I'm like so scared still that I got it wrong because it's the main character. But
so
I've been strong about it, so that's what it is.
Yeah, if it's going to be wrong, you're going to be wrong, right?
Yeah, very, very strong opinion about it.
Well, Sarah, you have been in contact with your readers and fans, and the reaction to the audiobook has been awfully positive, hasn't it?
It has been so good. I've had readers that had read the series before and now they're listening to the audio and it came alive like they wanted, which getting that expectation met is really, really important because people have their own preconceived notions of how Liv should sound or how Plato should sound. And then we have the brand new readers that have waited for the audio and they are just hungry for more. So Dara's done an amazing job.
So from a performance standpoint, Dara, what is your process for preparing to do something like this, where it's not just one book, but it's a lot of books in apparently a relatively short period of time because the release schedule is pretty aggressive?
This series has been awesome. I am so thankful to Erick for passing it on to me. First, Liv, just to begin with, she's very sarcastic, she's very witty, and so am I. And it's made it just so much more enjoyable to narrate. I have so much fun with her. I actually, when I prepped the book, I only read 2 books at a time. So when I was doing, for example, The Rebellious Sister, I wasn't 3 books in. But the way I thought of it was that, like, she didn't know what was going to happen. So I sort of didn't want to know what was going to happen. And the characters, I feel like, have come to life a little bit more now, even that I've been doing them. Like Plato, I completely see Plato now. And at the beginning, I feel like I was figuring him out a little bit more. But he's the best. And just so many great characters. There's so many great characters. There's Rudolph, who I'm like obsessed with. And I don't even know what she wanted him to sound like, but I did what he sounded like to me.
And what did you want him to sound like, Sarah? Or did you even have a voice in your head?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I do have a voice. And I actually haven't heard Dara's rendition yet, and I'm so excited to get to
that. Pressure.
But it's so interesting to hear your process because I don't know. I don't have any idea. It's interesting because Rudolph was one of those characters, and it's so neat to hear that you like him. He's an accident. He wasn't meant to happen. He wasn't in any outline, and he just showed up on the page, and his dialogue is now the easiest thing to write. Like, I could be asleep and write his stuff. I don't know. So
I think so. His dialogue, I just did a chapter a few days ago it was just him and Liz, and it was the easiest chapter for me to narrate.
Oh, cool. That's really neat to hear, because
I like him. I like him a lot.
Good. Well, he doesn't die yet.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Doesn't die yet.
I always have to preface that.
So Erick, when you are considering talent, we talked about this a little bit when we talked about the Opus X series, but it's different, I think, for the Liv Beaufont series, because it's one character who really just drives the story. How do you land on the right talent for something like this?
So, to some degree, it's kind of like random in that I'm reading the book, and I'm going, okay, who do I know that maybe can fit? And this is one testament to people too that either are emailing me often or that maybe have just done some great stuff for us, is that they're fresh in my mind, and I'll kind of look at the I'll look at the script and I'll read along, and I'll kind of go back to samples of other narrators and click through and read with this kind of voice reading something completely different, in my ear. And so like with this, I think Dara, I think we met, I think an author specifically had asked for you to narrate. And I went and digging around online and found your website, and that's how I believe how we first got in contact. And then shortly after, you did another book for us, and I couldn't be happier with everything that she's been doing. When this came along, she was one of those that popped up in my head, and I remember finding it, and it was actually pretty quickly able to shoot this off to you guys for to get your thoughts on it too. So it actually happened very organically on this.
And interestingly enough, when you sent, Erick sends links with, so we can listen to samples from other things. And I've spoken to Sarah enough, and I know Sarah's snarky tone of voice when she gets in the Liv Beaufont mode. And when I heard Dara, it's like, that's it. That's the one. That's perfect.
I agree. Great job.
That makes sorry, that makes me very happy.
So Dara, how do you, at what point when you're doing your prep, do you feel like you really have the protagonist in the story, or are you always nervous about it?
It was pretty soon.
Okay.
No, it was pretty soon. As you said, I've done a lot of books in this genre, and as I was reading, I just knew within a few paragraphs, I was like, oh, this is going to be a lot better than a lot of the other ones. And I was so pumped, because when I know that there's 6 books, or I know there's more books out there, I care a lot. I care a lot. And I'm so happy to be doing these books. Like, I actually really, really, really enjoy doing them. I love the story. Like, I actually care about what's going to happen next, which is not all the time in narration, but it's been awesome. And I'm so glad that Erick found me, because obviously it was perfect timing for everything.
Now, we had a situation at LMBPN. Sarah Noffke wrote a couple of books that were sort of memoir-ish about a single woman with a child living in Los Angeles. The books were originally called Everyone in LA is an Asshole, and that was tongue-in-cheek. We had to change the titles because we couldn't advertise them on Amazon with that word in the title. So it's now Everyone in LA is Redacted. They are hysterically funny books, and apparently I asked Sarah if she would be interested to narrate these, because I thought she would be perfect for it, and she agreed to do that. And she learned some valuable lessons as an author from actually narrating a couple books of her own. Do you want to talk about that for a second, Sarah?
Absolutely. And thank you. I'm glad they were funny. That was just a trip. I can't tell you how happy I was to get back to fiction. I was like, nobody needs to know anything about my life. But Dara, I have such an appreciation for what you do. And I have other audio producers. And so whenever I did the narration, I started to feel so bad as an author for what I had done to my poor narrators in the past. Because I've had books that have 10, 15 different accents. And then also words, like you're saying, names that you have to pronounce. These were words that I had written, and they were hard to pronounce. And we were talking about this. I guess it's called the green light phenomenon. I would be talking, and I'd be fine, and I could say all sorts of words like phenomenal or quintessential, and then all of a sudden the green light came on to record, and I couldn't even pronounce my own name. It was bad. So huge appreciation. I don't even know, how do you prepare so that you can say all of the different words when that light comes on?
I really do. As much as I like to say I spent a lot of money at NYU in drama school, I feel like that training really, really helped me. And when the green light turns on, I can't say the word GASP. Can you say that? Gasp?
I can't even spell.
Yeah, you can spell it. I can't say it. So try not to write it. So we all have our thing. Like, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, I was really mad at myself because I was like, why did you have to put in like these tongue twisters and things? And I literally had a whole chapter written about things I couldn't pronounce. And that was what I call karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Dara, you are the beneficiary of this because Sarah's the Liv Beaufont series was the first thing I think you wrote after having recorded that stuff. So you may have changed your writing style a little bit to take the narrator into account.
I am much, much kinder now.
Thank you.
Like only 5 accents per chapter.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, a lot of it has been all of the characters. You've really left it up to my interpretation of it. And that's been really fun for me. Instead of saying he sounded like a Romanian, grouchy, blah, blah, blah. I got to kind of pick it myself, which was really fun.
That's awesome. And I think that comes through in the audio. When you enjoy a project, it's going to be better for it. And it's going to be more engaging. I know that's been true for my books. If it was a chore for me to finish, the readers didn't enjoy it as much. And with Liv, I love writing it. So you're just bringing more to the table with, enjoying it.
Cool.
All right, so we have had, in addition to lots of positive comments from fans, Sarah has also received comments like, how quickly are the books coming, that kind of thing. And so question for you, Dara, is because the books are coming so quickly, is this the kind of thing where you're just doing live after live after live, or there are other projects interspersed?
I try and do 2 to 3 hours of finished audio a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's what I do, So her books have been around 7 hours. So I'm taking about they take about, well, not including prep and stuff, it's about 3 days to record each book. So in between waiting on edits and back and forth and things like that, I'm always doing a book in between. But I'm so excited to get back to these books.
Yay.
So where are you now?
I just finished The Loyal Friend. Edits are going on right now.
I have no idea what The Loyal Friend. I'm like, what book is
I think you wrote it.
No.
Okay.
We can't remember titles because at LMBPN we publish so many books. It's just like, it's Liv Beaufont number 4, or is it 3, or is it 5?
It might be 5.
Wow.
It might be 5, or is it 6? I don't know. It's somewhere.
It's 5.
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah. So there we are. And then I'm starting the next one next week. I think the Stubborn Advocate.
Stubborn Advocate. Yes, that one. Yes. I remember that name. Yes.
I
remember that title.
Yeah.
So that has not. That's about to start.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great, and it's just a little bit of background for listeners and viewers into what it's like as an author to hear your story narrated by someone as talented as Dara, and what it's like for someone like Dara to work with material that they really enjoy working with. So this has been fun. I thank you all so much for spending your time to do this with us. And Erick, thank you so much for setting this up.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for having us.
Thank you.
guys.
Bye all.